Meanwhile, in stately Wayne Manor,
Greetings, citizens of Gotham. Another classic 1966 build episode is coming at you today on Brickscale Studio. Welcome back to Brickscale Studio. My name is Jeff. Thank you so much for joining me. I am super excited to have you here as always. So we continue our build of the 1966 classic Batmobile. Again, a little better than last week where we hardly did anything. This week, we continue on that center console with the seatbelts. We add, I believe, the Batphone platform. And then we start another section of the console that will go on top of there, which will eventually have the Bat fire extinguisher and a lever for the Afterburner, I believe. And then on the Lego side, we finish the seat we started last week, and we build another one and some other things. So let's get into the build, and we can talk about it after.
and in the Batcave, deep below stately Wayne Manor.
Here we are in issue 67. So I feel like this is going to be another quick issue and another quick episode. But let's get into this here. So here are our parts, and it looks like we're going to be continuing on that center console. Alright, so let's get the parts pack for issue 67. Alright, so since these have a couple of small little parts, I'm just going to leave them in the tray until we need them. But it looks like we have the Batphone base, the gear shift base, the gear shift head, and the gear shift bracket. Alright, the first thing we are doing is we're taking this, and we are going to need this. Whoops. Alright, so the first thing we are doing is we're taking this piece, and it's going to come up through the bottom here, just like so. And then we need to bring over the center console that we were working on in the last episode. And we'll flip that over. And it looks like this is going to come up right through here like so. And then we're going to be keeping it in place with this bracket. And that's going to go on just like so. And that's going to be put in with these AKP screws. Alright. So that is holding that in there. And then of course we need this little gear shifter knob. Yeah, it doesn't say to glue it, so... Alright, there we got it. And then next we want to take, this is the Batphone stand. And it looks like, let's see... That is going to fit on just like so. And again, we're coming in from the bottom with these AKP screws. Alright, and there's two. So that is looking like that. And that is all there is for issue 67. So let's set this aside for a second and take a look at issue 68. Oh my gosh, we've all seen this meme a million times. or what they made the meme out of a million times. All right, it looks like we have more pieces for the... Well, actually, we're making an additional component. So we won't need that center console we were working on earlier. We have a new piece. Okay, so we have the center console, the console panel. Let's see, 68C. We have another, this is gear shift head, gear shift base, gear shift bracket. And then we have a console front panel, and then we have some buttons. I do not believe, remember in one of the last episodes we talked about this whole automatic versus manual transmission thing, with the Lego version having a clutch, and the scale model version does not have a clutch. As we saw with our bulkhead here, we just have a brake and an accelerator. But yet there are two gear shifts. So we installed one of the gear shifts in the last issue right here, and I believe this is the actual gear shifter. Now, whether the scale model is going to be automatic, which it appears to be since there's no clutch, I believe this is the actual gear shifter. The one they're calling the gear shift in this issue, it's actually the handle for the afterburner, the thruster afterburner. So it's not really a gear shift. It's for the afterburner. So if you were confused as to why we have two gear shifts, that's my 2 cents. I don't believe there are two gear shifts. They're calling this a gear shift, but it's really a lever for the afterburner. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we've got these little buttons that came in a bag, and I just took them out of the little bag and put them in this tray so they don't get lost. But the first thing we're going to do is we are actually going to use one of these little buttons, and we're going to pop it in right here. And there is a little piece of, oh, I see. So it's sort of a half moon hole, and then the peg is a half moon as well. So it can only go in one way. All right, so we just push that right in. And then the next little button is going to go on this piece. Same thing, there is a little, got a pattern here that you just match up. All right, so there we go there. And then apparently this is just going to be a push to fit. Yep, that fits in there, no glue needed. And it's sort of the same thing as before. We're going to put the gear shifter in, and we're going to, this one although sits in there a little more secure without having to hold it. And then we're going to flip this over. This is going down like so. And then this is going over the top. And this time, last time we used these AKP screws. This time we're just using AP screws. All right, that was way more struggle bus than it seemed like it should have been. Okay, and then obviously our... Also, this one interesting, the lever itself has the hole in it, and the handle has the tab versus the handle having the hole in it. So yeah, this one goes much easier. So yeah, there we go there. And then this piece. So So this just is a push to fit. There we go. All right, so that is in like so. So that is it for issue 68. And that's it for this episode. Let's move over to the Lego side. All right, so here we are on the Lego side. So we started this seat in the previous episode. I believe we are going to finish this seat, build the other seat, install them, and do maybe one other little thing in this episode. So let's get building. Okay, so that is the end of the Lego portion. So we got both of the seats in, which are looking very nice. And then we got these little panels in with some sticker elements. I think it's very cool the way they used the masonry bricks. They used the stripe side versus the brick side for the seats. It looks very nice. So that is it for the Lego portion. Okay, so to recap this episode, on the Lego side, we got the seats finished and installed. And then we got these two little panels here. Whoops. There we go. And then on the scale model side, we got this gear shifter, the Bat phone platform, and a little console here with the lever for the Afterburner, and then a little panel up here. So that will do it for episode 34. That completes the build portion of the video. Let's do our summary really quick. So like I said, a little better than last week. For the scale model, 12 steps and 14 parts. For Lego, 37 steps and 86 parts. Total to date for the scale model, 316 steps and 368 parts. For the Lego side, 485 steps and 1,205 parts. Like I said, better than last week. We had about 3 times more parts than we did last week. And then on the Lego side, we finished both of those seats. And as I mentioned, I really liked the use of those masonry bricks. Usually you use the other side that has the brick pattern, but this has just these stripes that look great as the seats. So that looks really nice. Some stickers were involved, but you know, it is what it is. I think we've got some more stickers next week because we add some more stuff to the dash. That's all stickers, unfortunately. But all in all, like I said in last week's episode, even though we're not getting a lot of parts and things to do because I think they're just stretching this out, I'm glad we have the parts to do it. So we've been in situations where we've been, you know, waiting weeks for parts. So I'm glad we are able to continue the build. So be sure to check out Tuesday for Optimus Prime. We're getting down to the end of that series, and it's coming together beautifully. Oh my gosh. Awesome, awesome build. Love it. So if you're a Generation 1 Optimus Prime Transformers fan, find that playlist, watch those videos. The build is amazing. Agora models did a great job. And then, of course, our Titanic video is sailing right along. We are making great progress there, headed toward a milestone. So be sure to check that series out. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. It's totally free. And if you're new here, welcome. And hit that subscribe button, please. We're trying to get our subscriber numbers up to hit some milestones to give away some free Lego. So definitely something in it for you. Oh, doesn't cost you a thing if you win even. I cover the shipping, so nothing to lose. Hit that subscribe button. We're giving away some cool sets. Star Wars AT-AT, and then the Lego Endurance. So definitely hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, until we see each other again, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I'll see you soon.